Hi, I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
And it's time. So our first story today is, as usual, a throwback to the waitress in Minnesota who got the $12,000 tip.
Finally, an update.
And if you don't know, go check. Keep clicking that until you find it. And then, watch all the ones you click past. Moving on. She got to keep all that money because, well, that's the right thing to do. So,
yeah,
I'm really happy for her as a service industry kind of person myself.
And police got together and said, okay, yeah, we were wrong. Or at least the council did. Anyway, so, science. I love science, especially when dealing with war. Is that bad? Anyway, so, a company named Adaptive has come out with a very interesting technology that they put on a tank. Basically makes it invisible. Well, at least to infrared scanners. It's a really interesting looking, it looks like a black beehive almost kind of thing.
The hexagonal discs that coat the outside of the tank.
Right, anyway, you put in a certain electrical charge, if I remember correctly, and it will change the temperature readout of the tank.
And
in other words, they can have the same readout as everything around them.
Or, if necessary, be completely blank. I think that's, like, the weird thing is, I actually saw a test of this a few months ago, and I didn't want to talk about it because they were just testing it. But what they do with these discs is, if they make them small enough, because they can turn it into shapes of car or something innocuous. Trash cans.
Person.
I think my favorite was trash cans. and in the infrared, it really looked like trash cans. Like weird.
We are this close to actual visibility with this. If we can cover on infrared, we are this close to, electromagnetic.
Visible spectrum.
Visible spectrum light. There we go.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I need to stop using high-level science terms on the news show.
Why?
Why did this change?
I
should not have changed.
Things
There's a woman accused of texting while driving with a baby on her lap and kids in the back seat. That's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah. So, actually, yeah, he basically just covered it. Lady, absolutely no sense at all, and really glad she got pulled over. Really, really, really glad because that's a disaster. Like. There's problems and there's disasters, and that could have been a disaster.
Fortunately, was arrested. She was caught. People saw her. She's going to jail.
In her lap, 2 kids in the back seat, unsecured, by the way, texting like an idiot. I mean, I'm not going to say that I text when I drive, but sometimes you gotta communicate with people. But
why do you have a baby in your lap while doing this?
I do not have a baby in my lap. I do not have an unsecured child in my back seat.
She's always secured. If you don't know who she is, check out previous show.
Previous show.
Anyway. Okay.
She is always secure.
This one is another science one, but totally up my alley. I love this kind of stuff. Nanotech. If you don't know what that is,
learn you some.
Little tiny robots that are basically originally thought of and designed to basically go inside you and do surgeries and stuff without any invasions.
Interact with your cells and things.
It's only been theory up until now. Scientists have created little tiny robots powered by an outside source, and basically they just wave this thing over you, and the nanobots work, and they can fit inside your blood vessels. Most of them, anyway.
The most of the larger blood vessels, not the ones in your fingers and whatever, but up in here and in
all the
here.
major arteries, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. By the way, that magical waving of electromagnetism and it working, they're actually translating that into stuff like recharging electric cars and recharging electrical devices like cell phones.
I was going to say, cell phones, you know, those things you put the phone on the little pad thing and it recharges? Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love science. I'm just saying. Now, Montana, right?
I think so.
Wyoming.
Wyoming, one of those northern huge states with nobody in them.
Aw, be nice. I like Alaska. Anyways, I do. I really do. But moving on. Wyoming. There's a small town called Buford with one resident. One. And he just sold his town at auction for $900,000.
This brings up so many questions for me. Like, does he have a city council? Does he vote? I mean, he literally can make any of his own laws. He could say chicken can be mayor. Also, he has a trading post. Well, had. He sold it now, I guess.
Yeah, well, he sold the town. He might still own, you know, his trading post.
Tons of questions. Anyway. Okay, so, Newt Gingrich.
Story over.
You may know some things about him. One of those being that he owns a think tank company. Well, they filed for bankruptcy. So Gingrich's think tank has filed for, what was it, Chapter 11? Yeah, Chapter 11. Or Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Okay. Chapter 7. Yeah, 7-11. Sorry, getting those confused. Either way, yeah, he's not doing too well. His company's not doing too well. And, you know, there goes all thought.
And he really wants to run the country. I mean, that's stunning.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's really losing the race.
Last story of today, probably one of the more amazing stories of today. A man in Camden, New Jersey was doing his construction thing because he's a self-employed builder. And he was up on a roof doing, you know, nailing shingles in, and his nail gun jammed, and so he went to unjam it. And I'm gonna make fun of him because he lived. But when you try and unjam a pneumatic anything, first rule that I learned when I was a freshman in high school was you disconnect that sucker. And then you tinker with it. Because if you don't disconnect that sucker...
And don't point it towards yourself.
You're gonna shoot yourself in the chest. Period. And this was no exception. He shot himself just to the... just to the right of his heart. And punctured his heart and went into cardiac arrest. But they resuscitated him and he survived. So...
And they repaired. The amazing thing is he didn't even go to cardiac arrest right away. He says he felt a puncture, looked down and went, "Oh, that's a problem." Called 911, went in cardiac arrest in the ambulance. And
after
they still
resuscitated him. The ambulance coming getting him, and he went into CA in the wow.
And he's just fine now.
Yeah, he's cool. So, moral of this story: you shoot yourself in the heart.
Don't do that again.
Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I'm Jeremy.
I'm AJ.
These are Extraordinary Times. Send us your stories at AllThingsExtraordinary@gmail.com, and we will see you next week. Be aware.